Hey guys, OG Silverback here, and I wanted to talk to you about the new U.S. President-elect Joe Biden and the new Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And basically, what they represent is change, right? And so, like I said in this video, it's time for change. And as far as pimping here at the Pimping channel, I want to talk to you about the evolution of pimping. It's got to change, right? So what's going to happen when you come to this channel, guys, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to be an information hub for you guys. First of all, I'm going to tell you how I use pimping modern day, how I've used it in the past. And the reason I have to tell you about how I used it in the past is to give you what's called an historical narrative, guys. You have to be able to understand how I used pimping in the past so that then from there you have an understanding to see how it has evolved to the future. Because I had one viewer say to me, hey OG Silverback, isn't it dangerous for you to be telling men how to do pimping in 2020 with all of the laws and all the regulations and feminism and all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And so what I did was I thought about it from his perspective, guys. And I said to myself, this guy has to change his mindset, because what happens is this, guys. Change, man, is a constant in life, right? And you have to be open to change, because if you continue to do what you've always done and you're expecting a different result, that is called insanity. And here, this channel is not about insanity. It's about information. It's about enlightenment. So what I'm going to do here, guys, what I've decided to do with this channel is going to be Information Hub. First of all, I'm going to tell you how I use pimping currently, how I've used it in the past, how my pimping has evolved. More importantly, I'm going to send you to other channels, give you pimping references. And last but not least, guys, I'm going to have you do some research on your own so that you can have the mindset of a pimp and understand what pimping is all about. Because here's what happens, guys. Let me tell you what a great pimp told me. He said, let me tell you something, man. Pimping, if you can pimp a woman, then you can pimp society. Pimps run society, guys. Let me tell you something, man. Politicians are pimps. President Joe Biden's a pimp. Let me give you an example of what he did. So, and this is not a political video, but I want to tell you how pimping is inculcated into our society. You know what I mean? And what I want you to understand about the evolution of pimping here before I proceed on. When you guys come here, guys, I want you to open up your mind that pimping nowadays, dude, pimping is a thinking man's game. Back in the past, pimps, let's just say they would finagle women or bamboozle women, or they would beguile women. Or I had some uncles that were gorilla pimps. Me, I was a combination of a gorilla pimp and I was a drug dealer, so I used drugs to have women sell their bodies and bring me the money back, right? But then there's psychological pimps, guys. To be a psychological pimp, dude, you have to elevate your thought process and your game so high that you can understand a woman's nature and influence it and manipulate it to get financial resources from this woman and have her think, that's her purpose and role in life. So that's what it's about. But to get there, you have to educate yourself. And it first starts with changing the way that you think about pimping and the pimp game. You have to come here to this channel with an open mind that, hey, you know what? There's a new president. There's a new vice president. If he dies, she's going to be the first woman president, which I don't wish death on Joe Biden, dude. But he's an old dude, man. He don't take care of himself, bro. He's on all kind of medications, bro. I'm just saying, man. Stuff happens, but I just want you to prepare yourself that if he dies, she's going to be the first female, black and Asian president in the history of the United States, and she's a feminist, dude. So things are going to be changing. She used to be a prosecutor. She used to be a district attorney. The laws are going to change, so that's why your pimping has to evolve. And I want to take it from the gutters of the streets in the hood and take it out into corporate America. And here at this channel, I'm going to share with you guys how to do it. But first, it starts with you. Change has to start with you. Change has to start with you guys. You have to now change your mindset and say to myself, hey, this guy, OG Silverback, I want to hear what he has to say. Don't come here talking about your pimp game's better than mine or whatever. Because let me tell you something, guys. I'm a master martial artist. And what's that got to do with pimping? I'm gonna tell you why. Because let me tell you something. What, like when you're excuse me, when you're in Chicago and Detroit and Philly and New York, homie, the places where that formed my personality. I don't really know about pimping in LA. Like I know about it, but I'm gonna tell you when I was a kid growing up. In your formative years, they will develop your personality, your character. Let me tell you about the pimps in Chicago, Detroit, New York, and Philly where I grew up, living in those places. Man, the pimps were beasts. Don't get it wrong. Yeah, man, they all dressed up and cool. You know, got their perms and everything. Got the nails done. All that with the jewels and all that stuff. The fur coats, you know what I'm saying? Driving around, man, in the Rolls Royces, you know what I'm saying? All that pretty boy stuff, shiny shoes, alligator boots, all that. But don't get it twisted, man. Hey, man, you mess with a pimp's girl, man. The pimp will smoke you, homie. Like pimps back east, homie. They're beasts, and that's when I learned duplicitous behavior, because I used to see these pretty boy pimps, and I was just like, oh, dude's too pretty to handle his business, man. That's when I was misinformed, because when I grew up around thugs and muggers, man. Like I was a thug, homie, growing up, you know, because I was poor and impoverished, man, and I didn't have the mouthpiece that my uncles had, my pretty boy uncles had. I didn't have I had a speech impediment, because when we moved here, English is my second language. I used to speak Spanish. And then when I was forced to learn English, I used to stutter. I had a speech impediment. I'm sorry, speech impediment. See, it slipped up. It came out. So the whole thing was, guys, I wasn't a smooth talker like my uncles that were pimps, man. Well, I had two uncles that were like mouthpiece pimps, and then I had another uncle who was a gorilla pimp. So I learned more from him, because I used to listen to my other uncles, but I didn't have the mouthpiece, right? So I'm saying I formulated more like a gorilla type pimping, because I was a thug, man. And that carried on to when I was a drug dealer. But now that I'm a sophisticated gentleman, man, I'm a high status male, I want to share with you the transition, because now with the laws, with Kamala Harris, you know, she's going to change some laws, man, to protect women. And so, like my one viewer said, hey, you know, it's not cool to be teaching people about pimping. And that's all what I'm saying is I want you guys to come here with an open mind about how pimping should evolve. It's now going to be an intellectual game where you're going to coerce and persuade the woman to do it in such a way she thinks it's her idea. That's all I'm saying. So I want you to stay tuned, because when you come here from now on, guys, I'm going to refer you to other pimping channels. I'm going to refer you to books that I've read. I'm going to refer you to different links to articles that I've read, ebooks. I'm going to tell you some of my stories about how I'm currently pimping the women in my life. Right now, I currently have 3 women that I'm pimping. And I'm going to tell you how I do it, specifically real life examples, how I do it, and how they are open, willing, and ready to finance my dreams and goals and aspirations. So it's very important that you guys thumbs up the video, man, and leave comments, because then we're going to have a dialogue, you know what I mean? Because a lot of you aren't aware of my Patreon, where I have $25 for 30-minute coaching calls, or $50 for an hour coaching calls. Because you're new to this channel, the channel's new, it hasn't grown yet. Trust me, it will. I got some deep game I'm going to share for you guys that are intellectual pimps, dude. A dude that wants to come here and me showing him my Mercedes and all my watches and my stock portfolio and all that, dude, and you're the wrong dude, because, homie, I ain't got nothing to prove. I'm just sharing with you some game for you young dudes, because it's very important, young dudes, that you learn the proper role models, dude. Women are not something to be lusted after. Women are something to be dominated and subjugated. It's just natural law, dude. And I don't hate women. I'm just telling you how it is. That's just the nature of it. And you guys have lost that heritage, because back in the day, the OGs or older guys would take the young men out into the forest, and they would teach them how to be men. They would hunt and fish and kill, and they would tell stories, and they would tell them what you should do with women. So when the young boys came back to the camp or the village, they was running things. They didn't have women running them, because they didn't have Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all this social media where guys going on there liking them and being simps and wimps and hitting them in the DMs and all this stuff, man. Come on, man. It's time to get paid, man. So let's do this together as men. Open your mind up to change. Let me share with you the evolution of pimping. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, OG Silverback out.